welcome to Kick-Ass Switch, putting the K in magic. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you're watching a video about surrendering to the divine, which is something that has really been on my heart and mind lately, and something that kind of just snuck up on me. I had just started this journal. I got this March 5th, and it is called the Book of Intent, and this journal was supposed to be all about the law of attraction, which I talk a lot about here. It's something I've been practicing for years and years and years, but I really wanted to experiment more, and I've already done a lot of experimenting with this, so that's why I laugh, but I wanted to experience a more intense version of conscious manifestation and kind of document the process here. And then I also, around the same time, started Hippie Witch Radio, Hippie Witch, Magic for a New Age. And that radio show is supposed to be devoted to the point where magic with a K meets the law of attraction. And the focus there also was going to be on manifestation. But right when I started these things, and I can't remember actually what originally sparked this idea in my head or this feeling in my heart, but I almost right away started shifting my focus away from that and away from manifesting, conscious manifestation, and into surrender. The word surrender was just so much on my mind. And I started writing a lot about surrender and what it means to surrender. I was remembering a lot about being a Christian growing up and how, you know, Christians talk about turning your life over to God and, you know, letting God be in the driver's seat and just kind of going for the ride. And I was thinking, gosh, that's just such a beautiful sentiment, and I'm at a place in my life where I have finally overcome all of my anger about, you know, growing up in this restrictive religion and all of this dogma and these Christian ideas, to where I can actually look under that and see all these beautiful spiritual truths that are at the heart of Christianity and at the heart of probably every religion. And it really just got me thinking. I spent a lot of time meditating and praying about this. And I actually did a couple of different little rituals where I, you know, said, I surrender, I surrender. I was thinking about this moment that Oprah Winfrey, I call her Queen Oprah because I love her, so you have to indulge me here and let me talk about this. She has told this story a number of times about how badly she wanted to be in the color purple. Like, she wanted it all the way down to the bottom of her soul, and it just wasn't happening for her, and she didn't know why, and she was so frustrated, and she had done everything she could up until that point. And so I think she was on a track somewhere, and she was running, and she just realized, this was just going to eat her alive, and she needed to just surrender to God. Whatever you want, God, you know, whatever will be, and I accept that. And then she started singing this old hymn, this old spiritual hymn, where she was singing, I surrender all, while she was running around the track. And apparently her assistant came running out with the phone, and it was Spielberg. I think she was at a fat farm. She was trying to lose weight. She thought maybe that would help her, get the part if she lost weight. And it was Spielberg on the phone, and he's like, what are you doing? Stop running. I don't want you to lose a pound. You are Sophia. You are this part. You're going to be in the color purple. And that was a moment of surrender. And even though that's a story that she uses to demonstrate, you know, the law of attraction, it's also a story that demonstrates the power of surrender. And you may have noticed, this is a theme with me lately in my videos and my shows, and it's something that I've revisited quite a few times in my life, but it goes deeper and deeper and deeper each time. And this time, it feels deep. It went really, really deep, and I really got it. And I had just been, you know, praying a lot about it and thinking a lot about it, And I had just said this very powerful prayer before I went to bed one night, you know, saying like, I surrender, just show me the way, show me what you want me to do, show me my path, and let me, you know, just guide me. I am done trying to guide this ship. I'm completely giving myself over to the divine, and I'm going to see where this takes me now. And then that morning, I was on Facebook the next morning after I woke up, and Dr. Christian Northrup, who I love, she had posted this little post about this book that a friend of her wrote, and it was called Outrageous Openness, Letting the Divine Take the Lead by Tosha Silver. And I didn't even think about it, I immediately just went, oh, that's for me. I went over to Amazon and I couldn't wait. I literally could not wait for the book to come in the mail. So I ordered it's like a MP3 that you can listen to. So it's like an audiobook. I ordered that right away and I immediately started listening to it because I knew that was a sign from the divine. It was a sign that this is it. I'm in. I'm on this path. And God, the divine, source energy, my higher self maybe, it's listening to me. And to me that was like an answer to that prayer. And I have listened to that book now twice. And it hasn't been very long, so that's saying a lot. I've just been dragging it around with me on my iPod, on my jog, when I'm doing the dishes. And so much of what she is saying, there are things that I already understood intellectually. There are things that I've already learned, but they just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper. And let me say this too, for the record, you don't have to believe in God to surrender to the divine or to source. You can be a complete atheist and just surrender to life. You can surrender to love. You can surrender to maybe just the better part of yourself, the part that knows better. Surrender is for everybody. It's not, you don't have to be part of a particular religion or even believe in God to be able to surrender to the divine. And I'm kind of bummed that I don't have the actual like book here to hold up and show you, but I will go on the internet and film it for you so you can see, because it's a beautiful cover, and I actually just might go and buy the hard copy myself because I'm just a book addict. I love books so much. I just want to like hold it in my hand and outline it and dog-ear it like the rest of my favorite books. And for sure, this is one of my favorite books. This one is a whopper. What she talks about, really, Tosha Silver, the author of this book, is practical ways, ways that affect you on a day-to-day basis. When your car gets towed, when you get stuck in the super long line at the grocery store, when you miss your flight, when your flight is delayed, when you're getting kicked out of your place and you need to find a new place within 30 days. She talks about practical ways when life throws you these curveballs, for allowing divine to be your guide, for inviting the divine to be your guide. And she talks about how this is a muscle that you can utilize. And I thought it was really interesting. I was thinking about people who practice magic. They'll often like mock, you know, like Christopher Pinzak has a book called Instant Magic, and there are witches out there who will use instant magic, you know, to open up the perfect parking spot, for example. And then other people will mock them and be like, how dare you use the power of God for such a meaningless thing, for such an egotistical small thing. But Tosha Silver's take on that is that that's practice, and that inviting the divine into your life, it's something that you nurture over time and you develop kind of like a muscle. And so it is in those small moments, it's in that moment when you're in a hurry and you need a really good parking spot, that you can open it up to the divine. Let God lead you to the perfect parking spot. She talks about divine order and how you can, you know, say little prayers if you want a new home, if you're looking for a new place. You can say something like, I know the perfect place is already selected for me, and I will be guided to it in the perfect way, in the perfect time, and then you just let it go. It's about, again, release. surrender, the law of detachment, non-attachment, things I've just been talking a lot about lately because like I said, this is where my mind is at, this is where my heart is at. And another thing that she talks about is something she calls the change me prayer. So maybe somebody did you wrong, maybe somebody betrayed you in some horrible way and you don't know how you're ever going to forgive them. You could do a change me prayer in which you say, you know, dear God, dear Goddess, dear universe, dear creative energy that lives way up in my head that I can't access, that I know is not God because I'm an atheist, but I know there's a higher part of myself up there. Dear whatever, please change me. Please help me to release this karma by being able to forgive this person and myself. Please change me and please allow me to release this energy from my life and to release this person with love and forgiveness. And this works for all different kinds of things. That's just one example, and you should go get the book if you want to read more about it because it's awesome and I love it, and that's why I'm talking about it right now. And she also talks about something called the God Box, which I had one of these and I wish I hadn't thrown it away, but I had been using it for years and years and years, and it finally just got so ratty, and it had been sitting there for a while. I had moved on to other modalities that I hadn't used it in a while, but now I wish I would have saved it to show you because it was this box, I think a Christmas present came in it years and years and years ago, and it was a really big, like, sturdy box that was metallic gold with stars all over it, and I thought it looked very magical, so I called it my magic box. She calls it the God Box. And what you do is when something comes into your life that is kind of beyond you or you don't know the solution, you just write it on a piece of paper and you put it in the God Box and you leave it to God. You leave it up to God and then you just let it go. Again, it's just about detachment and letting go of the outcome and how that's going to turn out. You just turn it over to God, which again reminds me of that Christian thing of turning your life over to God, turning your problems over to God. So my little book of intent here has taken quite the turn, and I've been writing some interesting things down in here. I actually posted a version of this on Facebook too. I did it from memory, so I don't know if it's exactly the same, but when I was praying that guidance would come to me and that I would be able to turn my life over to the divine and to release my need to control, and in the middle of talking, what I meant to say was, so mote it be. And what actually came out, I don't even know where it came from. I'm assuming it came from the divine because it was definitely beyond me. What came out instead and totally surprised me was, what's for me will be. And I was just stunned into silence, and I just kind of sat there, thought about it for a minute, and I was like, that makes complete sense. That's absolutely profound. What is meant for me will be. What's for me will be. What's for me will be. And so I wrote it in my little book of intent, and then I kept going. I wrote, what is for me will be. I am willing to receive. I am willing to allow Spirit to be my guide. I surrender to the divine. All is well. And then later, when I was listening to Outrageously Open and making my dinner, Tosha Silver said something that again totally stopped me in my tracks and just reiterated what I read to you. And so of course I had to run to my little journal and write it down. She said, let me feel worthy to receive what is meant for me. And then I wrote, I am willing to receive. So not only am I willing to receive whatever it is I'm trying to manifest into my life, I'm also willing to receive divine guidance. And I know this video is maybe a little less structured than my videos usually are, but this is just something that I'm just kind of on fire about right now and just filled up with. It's just on my mind all the time, and I'm just noticing all of these awesome synchronicities taking place in my life, and I already had stuff like that going on in my life, so now it's just crazy time. It's double time. All of these amazing things are happening, and I think it's just so much about getting out of the way and surrendering to the divine. And next week on Hippie Witch Radio, I'm going to be talking about getting in alignment with your soul's purpose. And so I guess I will continue some of this conversation over there, but I couldn't wait until Tuesday, so I had to make a video really quick about that now. I hope this message hit home for you, and that if you're not already, that maybe you will just start to maybe consider trusting that something beyond yourself, the divine God source energy, has got your back, and maybe you'll be able to start letting go and having faith in the universe a little bit more. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing right now. So join me. Let's all do it together and we can compare notes. Much love. Peace. There it is. Outrageous openness. I think I was saying outrageously open. Outrageous Openness, Letting the Divine Take the Lead by Tosha Silver. Isn't that a great cover? Apparently she customized this goddess that she found in a shop one day. Her and her buddy customized it to make it wink. I love the cover. It totally screamed out at me. I knew this book was meant for me, so maybe it's meant for you too. I don't know.